That is Chris Paul. He just got waived by the Phoenix Suns.
Emmanuel Paul.
He is now available. He's a free agent. What team would you like to see Chris Paul join the most?
Well, we were just saying it. The Celtics, they could use the playmaking the most probably out of any team, honestly. Like we saw it in the playoffs. That was their biggest problem. Like in Game 7, like we were saying, that many turnovers for Jaylen Brown, for Jason Tatum. If you have a lead playmaker like Chris Paul, you are not going to get that. They instantly become like probably. I mean, we already said that they were the deepest team in the league. They probably go right back up there next season.
I'm gonna be honest. I think if the Celtics get CP, they're title favorites.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think they're title favorites if they get Chris Paul.
So how does this work with him getting waived, like in terms of his contract and money?
They bought him out, did they not?
Yeah, he had a $15 million. If they released him or they waived him, he would make $15 million no matter what from the Suns. So he just got paid $15 million for being cut. That was what his guarantee was.
So what kind of money is he going to be looking for from his next team?
Honestly, I would think nothing.
Vet minimum?
If I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the roster, depending on the team he goes to.
He got his contract.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
He just wants to win, bro.
I don't know if he's officially waived yet. I don't think
I think it was the 28th. I think it was official.
Yeah, because I saw someone on Twitter a little bit after that they're going to still explore trades with him.
I don't.
But he's definitely not going to be a Phoenix Sun next season.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
And then there was a thing where they're exploring DeAndre Ayton trades too. So they're going to overhaul almost this entire roster around Devin Booker and
I don't think they're going to trade Ayton. Vogel already came out and said he wants to turn DeAndre Ayton back into a perennial all-star player. I don't know when he ever was.
Turn him back. When was he that?
Those aren't my words.
When was he that, Frank?
I'd love to see him back on the Clippers. That's my pick. I'd like to see him fulfill the prophecy of Lob City. I think that's what they've been looking for, a point guard all these years. The Clippers have a very small window of opportunity left, like the tiniest window ever.
Is it? Are we sure?
Of these guys it might be closed already, but if they were going to make another run and try to make another crack at making the finals, I think CP3 is going to be your guy.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, the Clippers do go out and get Chris Paul, obviously, I guess. They're not shipping out Paul George. They're keeping their roster whole.
Right.
It really all depends on what the Clippers do.
I'm just not convinced that the Clippers are ready to blow it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't think they're not
I think the Chris Paul news definitely changes that fact. If they were ready to blow it up, that this could be a reason not to.
All right.
Just like if we get Chris Paul.
Get him back to OKC.
Bro, he's going back to Bron. He's not back, but he's going to join his bestie. He's going to join his bestie over
I think he's going to the Lakers too. It just makes a lot of sense.
I think it makes the most basketball sense to go to Boston, but I think Bron is going to have this otherworldly pull and push the front office and B, Chris Paul to come join the Lakers.
And then
I completely agree with you.
And then he gets traded to Dallas. But I mean, look, as much as I want it to happen with the Celtics, because I think it would be such a perfect fit, or the Clippers for that matter, I think he ends up a Laker because he's best friends with LeBron James. And I think it's just that simple.
It was meant to be for him to be on the Lakers.
And win a ring with Bron.
Yep.
Who knows? But the West is like, look, Denver's not going anywhere. Denver's not going anywhere. They'll be amazing for the next few seasons. And I don't know if that makes does that make the Lakers a title contender? Like I asked that question. I know they just made the Western Conference Finals. So
I mean, they need to do more than just Chris Paul.
The Lakers need more out of Chris Paul than the Celtics or the Clippers will need out of Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
The Lakers' problem isn't playmaking. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
We don't look at the Lakers like, oh my God, if they get a playmaker, that's the title favorite. But the Celtics and Clippers probably immediately become title favorites if they line Chris Paul.
You think the Clippers do?
I mean, why wouldn't they? Everyone's been ready to call them contenders this whole time.
Look, I'm the biggest Clipper
playmaking. If
think
they
I'm
go
all
and get
for
one of
that.
the greatest playmakers of all time, why aren't they title favorites?
I don't disagree,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
they just I can't
It's just
believe
based
in
off
them
of
because
face
they
healthy.
So many people thought they were
exactly.
going to win
Yeah.
it all this year. It's
Who
not
knows? Maybe if they
like
stood
to
healthy,
me.
who
It
knows?
never was just about staying healthy. Like I always thought, they more than the Celtics, they lacked playmaking severely.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I
That's the thing.
would,
At the start of the season, it's always the title favorites are based like without health. Basically, I feel like people
yeah.
don't really look at it. Yeah, it's just all the teams on paper. You know, that's what you see. So I think they'd be
But it
title
depends
favorites
what
also.
version of Chris Paul was getting there, though. He
Yeah,
looked washed the last we saw of him.
But he's still a great playmaker. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Like if
That-
Boston or the Clippers bring him in, all you're asking this man to do
So
is
if Boston trades for Chris Paul, that makes one of their 3 guards expendable. Who are you trading if you're
Malcolm
Boston?
Brogdon.
I agree.
I think you have to go Brogdon.
yeah.
You can't trade Marcus Smart.
It's a shame because
Definitely
Brogdon
not
just won
Marcus
6th
Smart.
man of the year for you.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree. It sucks, but you cannot trade Marcus Smart.
And you
He's the heart and
can't, you
soul of
literally
that team.
can't trade Derek White either.
I mean,
No.
you don't have to trade one of them though. You could keep all of them, can't you?
I guess.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
but
I just feel like you could get assets or like
You could.
more depth at a
I
different.
know. I
like,
saw
wing.
that. Yeah, I saw Peyton Pritchard wanted to get moved. I know he doesn't have crazy value or anything, but
yeah, I saw he asked for a
Something.
trade, and
I
Well,
think in the
he's
right
not gonna be a
situation, he could be
Celtic next
solid.
season.
yeah,
Well, because if
Yeah,
one of
that's what I'm
those
saying. He
guys
has some
becomes
value.
expendable, the Celtics could literally build a dynasty.
I
I don't know
agree.
how the money all works, but if you could package
Malcolm Brogdon, Peyton Pritchard, maybe a first.
for like a 2-way 3-and-D wing, like one of the
Agreed.
higher end 3-and-D wings to come off your bench or play like small ball
So
four. Tatum
JB's
plays small
staying
ball.
a Celtic.
Yes, yes.
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I don't think they're trading him, and I think they'd be crazy, especially with this Chris Paul news. I think you have to, I think it might separate a little bit if he does get some more money from, say, one of these title contenders. Like, say the Celtics are just willing to go with the mid-level exception or something like that, and he's only getting minimum deals from all these other teams. He's going to look at the Celtics as a title contender.
You
Like,
don't
even
think
if there is pull.
you don't think JB has a moment of like, I could do this shit on my own?
No,
I think he know. I
No.
hope he knows he can't do this.
Definitely
I don't
not
know.
after this. postseason.
exactly what
Yeah.
Ortiz just said.
No,
Not
I
after
agree
that.
with you. I don't think he got it, but like he might not think that.
I mean, he is definitely worthy of the max contract from every team that offers.
It's also
him,
a lot of
obviously.
fucking money that they're going to be
It's
giving him, bro.
crazy.
Making 60 something million a year in a couple of years. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, only the Celtics can offer him that money.
Yeah, but it looks crazy now. But then once the cap goes up in a few years again, it's
just gonna look the same as any other contract.
yeah, it'll.
Well, not any other contract.
Not
But
really.
Any other
not
max
any
contract.
other.
Any other max contract.
It depends
I
how
just-
he
Any other
plays.
supermax.
He
yeah.
can't be
Any other
shrinking
supermax.
like I said before. I'm more than willing to criticize him for his performance in the playoffs this year. Like
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to
can't
pay
be-
$65 million a year for a guy that's going to, disappear when I need him.
I
But
just
he
think
doesn't usually do
I
that.
think he's a guy who's gotten better every single season. Like I don't know about Enner's prime. I don't know why you would think he's going to stop getting better. I know his glaring hole that everyone especially sees now, he hasn't improved much on, but literally every single other aspect in this dude's game has gotten better year after year.
Agreed.
I don't see why he can't tighten up his handle. I
He
really
definitely
don't.
No, I agree.
I hope he does.
But that was the issue. It was the same problem last year. We were giving him shit for that last year. And now it's like, why was it
Yeah,
kind of the same thing?
But it's like also though, like even without really improving much on that, he still took a huge jump as a
Yes,
player.
absolutely. I agree.
So like I don't know. I don't doubt that he'll come back and figure it out.
I do think if the Celtics somehow get CP, that Malcolm Brogdon trade will be coming very soon after.
Well, it's
I
just
do
not
think.
enough guard minutes to go around at that point.
No. He just
I mean-
sitting there.
You can't just
And-
waste Malcolm Brogdon on your fucking bench when you have CP and Marcus Smart. What do you
And then Derek White.
right? What do you really even need Brogdon for anyway at that point?
Especially, I mean, like Chris said, you could pick up another high-end 3-and-D player because Al Horford's getting old.
I mean, Brogdon's coming
There's
off
just
winning
to
a 6 man of the
replace more
year.
minutes because Al Horford isn't going to be around forever.
You better go find your Al Horford replacement. I
Yeah, I
agree.
mean,
That's
people
the
are gonna
perfect
want
Who's
opportunity.
your Al Horford
Malcolm
replacement?
Brogdon on your team.
You go trade for a guy. You can figure it out. I mean, look, Grant Williams should be back in a Celtics uniform next season too. I think he's a free agent this season.
Nah, I think Grant has to go. I would
You
love to
think
see
so?
him going
I think
back.
you
They're
could
just not in a
really.
position to pay him what he's going to get on the open market as a restricted free agent.
I think he'll get like 12 to 15 in that range.
Yeah, I just think they just have to allocate so much money to so many guys over the coming years.
You're right.
You could find someone at some point on a cheaper deal to do what Grant Williams does. He was really good for them, especially like after being benched for the early stages in the playoffs. He always stayed ready and was ready for his moment, it seemed, and came in. And whenever he came in, he played well. But I just think for that type of player, you could find someone else down the line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For less money.
Especially if they're gonna have to, if Chris Paul does ask for more than the minimum, than the mid-level session, that's more of a priority than paying Grant Williams.
I think the Rockets would be in play for a guy like Grant Williams, the Pistons, all those young teams who just need a vet in the locker room. He's not old and really, but like
And he's
Grant
bad.
Williams is a good locker room guy. Like he's a
He's
guy you
bad,
want
man.
around.
Yeah, I agree. No, I definitely agree. So Chris Paul he'll have his suitors though. He'll definitely have his suitors. It's gonna be an interesting offseason. Very intrigued to see what happens.